Good morning, anyone or everyone. Good morning. You better get him. All right, let's fill this out for now. Market opens in 2 minutes. I don't really expect much, but we'll see. Yes, summer. Our market open. You got the volume off. There you go. They literally gapped it up above the range where we broke down from yesterday. I gotta fix this. 20 minutes, 60 minutes since open. That's not true though. Where's this? Pending confidence. Fix that in a little bit. So yeah, we're opening up above where we broke down from yesterday. Little opening breakdown. Right there, this little, oh shit, that's pretty big. We broke down from here. It's a little high. We're opening above it. Low volume. I'm not sure if there's going to be any meaningful volume, but we're gapping back above where we broke down from. Should continue past into yesterday's like little resistance, which is 60s. Was it 65 through 72? Was where they were hitting it yesterday. Because of the they were hitting it because of the gamma wall there. The gamma wall right there. So I think they're going to want to test that area again. 65 through 68. That's where it was. Yesterday's little gamma area. You know, there shouldn't be any gamma today. There's no options expiry. Yeah, see, there's none. So it'll probably be whatever levels were from yesterday because there's no option chain to review gamma for. You can probably pull Monday's options data, but it might be further out. Boy, oh boy. Yeah, this sell-off we had reminds me of the same sell-off we had like a couple of days over here. Let me actually put a higher time frame because this one's gonna look messy. Check it out. Okay, this makes more sense. So we had a large base here. We have a large range base here. A little too thick. Right. We had a bearish engulfing or a sell-off. We probed underneath it. Recovered later. Let me actually do this in a different color. Recovered underneath. And then returned back to the support area. So failed breakdown. And then we broke away. We had a little consolidation. And we broke out. Yesterday we had a similar setup. It's just more compressed. So we had a range here. And we sold off. And we recovered into the end of the day here. So now we just need to hold above the value high right here, 65s. Kind of like similar. Boxes are too thick, bro. Let's do it thinner. Here, recover, recover. Cover, cover. And then we have the failed breakdown, right? This failed breakdown. Failed to break. Failed to break. And then we have the consolidation part before that breaks us out. So we have a little consolidation here. Right there. We just need the consolidation here now. To continue this little failed breakdown setup. So consolidate here. Above the prior month value high, 65s. And then you got 600 through 640 over here. The next range. The next little range that establishes probably around here. That's what I'm seeing right now. You know, like a trend up staircase pretty much, just on a smaller scale when we're trading it intraday. It looks a lot worse when it sells off than it is. It's really not that way. It's just similar to what happened here. You form a base or a range. You try to break out of the range. You don't, neither side wins. The downside capitulates. They trap inventory below sellers. They recover later. As long as this low holds, this recovery tests the other side of the auction or the other side of the range, breaks out, continues, forms a new base. Seller or buyers capitulate, they recover, and they just need to consolidate again like the green, and then a consolidation above that or acceptance, same thing, different words. Then you have a higher range that forms, and then a breakout into this prior structure, and we hold this area, and then you form another base, and so on and so forth. That's kind of the playbook I see going into. Now the invalidation is always important, so where is the invalidation, right? And I would say where that line in the sand is, so I drew a red line there. As long as we don't accept, like, consolidate. So this consolidation here, the little green consolidation we have right here, as long as the consolidation does not form here, right below this little neckline area or the range, as long as we don't get acceptance there, then and then that holds. That structure will continue to break out. Just gonna be dips to buy as long as that holds. So we could sell off today or Monday all the way back down to that same level, 500. As long as it consolidate above 500, 520 you better, then we can continue to do the same rotation back up. As long as the consolidation does not happen below this area. Let me just draw it in red instead. Just like 490, 470. If we accept below 470, that's like a big barrier level because that's the prior week value high. Accepting back below the prior week value high, it just means the breakout failed. Then we'll come back here to the 420s. But again, accepting below this area, then we'll just come back down again. But as long as that holds for now, that's the line in the sand for me. We go higher. The difficulty is that when you have a higher time frame structure in play, trying to find entries intraday at the higher price, right, on the top end of the range is very tricky. Because they're not truly valuable areas to be going long against the higher time frame structure. So like intraday trading, right, what we're doing here is the best area to be long is this area, but what happens when you don't open here and you don't trade these prices during the day? Where is the real entry, right? That's the tricky part of it all. Like, because your stop loss, your management against the higher time frame structure is a little harder. Ugh. All right, let's see. Ain't nothing but a brand name. Well, yeah, good morning. That's the structure leading into next week. I don't know if we get anything exciting today. I mean, maybe we touch VWAP. Wow, what a thrilling morning. VWAP's at 47 on the S&P. The thing that's making this difficult is the volatility inside the Nasdaq. There's a ton of volatility inside the Nasdaq, to the upside and to the downside. And I think that has to do with a lot of like the Korean market overlap right now and momentum with semiconductors. Okay. Connection. Got a connection. Yeah, I was long yesterday on that reclaim of the 20s. I think it was like this most simplest trade to take after they recovered it last night into the close. I don't think there was any coincidence there. I think yesterday's sell-off was a little bit of a shake and bake because we recovered. We literally into the last 30 minutes of the day. I think the last 10 minutes we recovered the last 10 minutes we recovered right into the 20s. The whole neckline of this support area. We literally went in, they gapped or ran right into that area. Once they recovered it, it was pretty straightforward that the overnight session would likely continue higher. I didn't know where to though. I didn't know if it was gonna be 50s or just 40s. Since 40s is the midpoint, the pivot, 50s is the top end of the range, which they took it to 50s. That's a tick. See where they come down to 40s. Time is it? We still got a couple hours. Come down to 40s and see if there's a reaction there. I'm willing to bid. But either way. Ah, man. All right. Yeah. So I've been watching the markets for like 8 years. I've never seen such a strong correlation to South Korea, which is interesting. I think the last time I heard about South Korea in the markets was like 2020 when they had that boom. Well, I think most markets did, but Korea was one of those outperformers. Mm. Global trade setting. Pretty low. Oh man. What is the name of it? Trade activity log settings. Okay. Okay, we have this now. What do we need to do? Export trade activity to data text policy. Yeah, is anyone taking any trades, or did anyone take a trade last night? I guess we'll put a poll since I'm not sure if there's gonna be much chatter today. Alibaba bars employees from using what? Bot code? Oh man. No trades overnight. Okay. All right. Do you guys trade overnight at all? I guess like trading during the overnight session off limits. All right, let's see Cloud Code design. Oh boy. All right, let's see. You plan on trading today? Let's get right. Okay. Let's see if we have. All right. They didn't even test VWAP. I'm looking to see if they test VWAP 47s. So if they do at some point within the next couple hours, I'll definitely be interested in taking an add to this trade here. And then scaling it at the 55, 54. It's kind of the brick wall we're hitting here. So if we can come down to 47, about an 8-point trade, it's pretty much all I can really think of right now is come into VWAP, see if it holds, add to the trade, scale it at 54s near the open, and then go from there. Other than that, I'm just going to keep holding this little runner I have because I was long yesterday from 28. So that doesn't happen, and I do nothing really. You plan on trading today? Someone said yes. Show me the money, he says. I want to trade today. Just kidding. Alrighty. Be inside range, per low conviction, reduce targets. Yeah, this is pretty much going to be it for today. Balanced auction, reduce. Blah, 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 blah. All right, we got no. We got someone said no. Oh my. He's like, I'm just here for the vibes. What's going on today? You're standing on a computer, just probably chilling, maybe doing something else in the background, having the live open. Hey, okay. Just Yes, another one's on trade. All right, what do you got, man? What are we looking at? Trade. Yes, I want to trade. All right. Oh. Well, I guess I'll ask a question since I'm waiting. You guys said yes, yes, no. Here's the question. I don't think it's a common thing, which I don't. Do you review or journal? Okay, that's... Toy border toys. Man. Redesign is alright. Alright. Trump defends big crypto gain, says there's nothing illegal. Okay. That was yesterday's interview. I think it's just gonna... It didn't pull back into VWAP, man. At least not the full session one, just the RTH one. It's the only one I traded around. It's just holding for a breakout. Still got a few hours, couple hours, like what, an hour and a half before they close. I wanted to see how they tested VWAP, man. Oh my, I think we're breaking out. Let's see. Yeah, it's breaking up. Boom, boom, boom. Again, I'm long from last night, so I'm just holding on. I was looking for an ad to this, but it didn't. Maybe I should have been not as selective. Change that. I don't like that transition there. Okay. Yeah, they're breaking out. That was quite an interesting move last few ticks. It looks bigger than what it is. I mean, what is that? Like only like 3 points from 58? Yeah, it's 3 points. It just looks larger because it's been very tight range. Hmm. AI prompt course here. Switch to my trading account. All right, Sir Candle. Oh man, that's hilarious. What the fuck is that? Oh, I did not expect that. That is howdy. What's up, man? How are you? So someone said they do journal their trades. That's awesome. You took the long after opening. Not after the overnight open, yes. After the overnight open, yes. Yeah. Ugh. What's with the name, bro? Oh no. Not bad, eh? Very recognizable. I mean, the other one was too, for the most part. I mean, I don't think I've ever seen anyone have an AI prompt one, but still funny. All preparation for next year's drop. Ah, well, that's definitely gonna ring a lot of bells when you do participate. Oh man, too bad no column. I was hoping we go lower. I mean too. I mean, like I said this morning, a little while ago, I was hoping we'd go a little bit lower so I can buy more, but I was looking for a test of VWAP. You are? Do you label yourself that, or do people actually tell you that? Big difference. Are you the one that responded to yes to the trading journal? I mean, thanks for tuning in, brother, by the way. I think you're not from the US, right? You're from Germany, if I remember correctly. Okay, that's boarded. All right, cool. You still need CD. Let's log NPM. Okay, I got the. So who calls you that, man? Who calls you those names? That's not very nice. Is it yourself? No, I would call myself super nice. I don't know if I'm assuming there's some sarcasm in there, but you know, that's just others. No way. Well, what'd you do? Or are people just misinterpreting what you say? You have any kids? Or children that you know of? I mean, if you don't know of them, it doesn't count. Do you actually just trade SPY? Yes, like, I mean, I have positions in terms of holdings as a portfolio, and I do trim those or buy more, etc. over time, but I wouldn't consider that like trading. But it kind of is in some way, right? Because as long as you're exchanging a security, then you're trading, so it's like more of like a passive thing. Outside of that, I don't trade anything else. Like just buy hold and stuff like that. Old trading server I was on, I guess. Oh, okay, gotcha. That makes sense. It comes from it. Yeah. Hi, ego traders. Old server I was on. So where was your server? What was your medium where you guys collaborated or spoke? What was that on? Like a blog of some sort, Discord, or what was that? What do you trade? Do you trade anything else besides just the SPY? I think you said DAX? I don't know. No, 46 didn't have the time for kids. Do you want to have kids? Nothing impossible. It's just kind of like the response sounds like if it happens, it happens kind of thing. There's nothing wrong with that. Just saying. Swingfish, a server from some later turned out to be a scammer. Oh wow. So do you probably not know about it? No, a dead Discord since I don't know. No, I don't know about it to be honest. 2022. Gotcha. Yeah, not familiar. What were you the one that responded to the trade journal info? Or what do you trade, man? He pulled 800K from investors? Oh shit. That's fucked. And what, he funneled it to himself? Like, or did he just lose it all? Wild, dude. SPY, DAX, Gold, NASDAQ. If SPY not, it looks nice. Okay. You got quite an arsenal there. Do you just like always have them open on your computer, or is it something you just like set alerts, kind of tuck away, and then so on and so forth? What's the setup too that you look for? Like, what's the I'm assuming that you look for a certain type of structure within these assets, right? To trade. Gotta do more than one. This is fucking insane. He'd probably lose a lot, then stole the rest since he can't face the fact that he got all emotional and oh my god. What was his credibility there that he got some money from funds or from people? Was he a previous like fund manager or something? Lows and highs are killed. Oh, okay. So same. Okay, similar like skeleton essentially. Similar skeleton setups. Okay, pretty simple, pretty great overview. But how do you deal with the gold? So, for example, on gold, because you put in bid auctions. Okay, cool. So, as far as like gold though, it like, does it matter to you that it's not a centralized exchange? Good sales in person actually seems trustworthy. Okay. Does it matter to you if there's a rectangle systems? Yeah, I'm not familiar with what that is. I'll look it up right now, but interesting. Let's see. There is a refiner auction too. It kind of defines gold prices for the week ahead. Well, I see more of a longer term trade, hard to day trade. Yeah, I mean that's what I was trying to ask, you know, because I know gold is different because there's like it's actually physically exchanged as well. You know, there's like this physical exchanges. I don't know if that affects the price of any way in any way on any given day. Yeah, right, because you said you went to a refinery and stuff like that out there in Asia. So that's why I'm asking, because I know, like, for example, gold, like, although the volume profile and auctions exist inside a computer, there's also so many exchanges for that, right? It's not centralized. So, like, how does that affect the view of the structure from a volume profile perspective, or is it more time-based? That makes sense, because, like, I can see how time-based profiles may be better. There is London spot price. There's a spread too. So, like, I'm assuming there's a spread between exchanges, or... Matters a lot for charts. Got it. Oh shit, I put the prompt into the wrong one. Fuck. I did. Up to 8 kilograms a day, fine bot. No way. So, like, gold is like your market, huh? You were in the industry for quite some time. Cool. It'd be hard to explain. I never worked with charts technical. I get hints of from my refiners futures price. Ah, you have like insider feel, insider tempo. Someone said no, they don't review trades. All those are. Do they really? I mean, you would know, since you've been in the industry. I have no clue. Gold, as an asset, I mean, I fear like it's more scarcity than anything, but I don't know. They define the ranges based on what, like output, demand? I'm assuming it's pretty basic principles, right? Supply, demand, outputs. Quite some time it is. Oh, no way. Mining seasons. There's mining seasons? I didn't even know that. There's but most of all dollar, but obviously there's 10 years now. Produce as much as they can. So there's like a bottleneck in production. I didn't even know that. I guess that makes sense. Okay, sorry, I'm doing a few different things right now. Physical market. So do you just hold gold positions? Do you own physical gold at home or something as well? All right, I think I'm just gonna line this out here. 6:59. We might get an end of day run poll. What's that? We still got an hour. We'll wait. The 63. We'll probably wait a little bit and see if there's an end day poll. The risk is they just pin it to 50s, honestly. Like right here, 55. I think there's like a pin risk of just coming back to the RTH and the open and just kind of closing flat pretty much. Okay, use a generator. Okay, it's doing it. No way I'm gonna ever fucking use all of it. Damn, that's crazy. I do one of my first people buy gold was the internet injury. Oh wow, interesting. Buying gold via the internet, that's insane. How is that, by the way? Like if you think about like the transition, like you were in the cusp of like the transition into like the internet, things are going online, and then now you're on the cusp of like the AI wave. What are some overlaps, if any, of what you're seeing right now? Basically, scap gold buying was my domain later. You know, like what do those comparisons look like? Yes, got Q votes. Okay, I'm surprised here by the answers. We do have some people who review journals. That's very good. Good to hear. What journals is there using? I gave my company after I left Asia. That's great, man. I'm glad. What got you into gold? Let's see. Yes, from the standpoint of thinking done. You get your clients. Just Google optimization. How'd you learn how to optimize? Is that something you already had a background in, or? Chips today just verified you're real every broker. Self-taught. I'd love to understand things from Google code to charts. Okay. So you know you're very technical. Do you use AI in this case? I'm assuming you do. You're using it was AI prompts. I mean, what do you use AI for? I guess is the question. It's not a matter of what you use or not, but since you like to understand things, what do you use it for currently? Complete. I do. Why? What do we got? What do we got? Two point oh. Let's see my journal. Where is it at? I think I closed it. It's still loading. They're still working on it. All right. Okay. Let's see. I do Asia Open Indicator, build my own GEX indicator, analyzing myself and my trade history. Yeah, I'm doing that right now too with the GEX stuff. I'm not yet into data sourcing. I love what you build. What you build there for yourself. Quite nice. Yeah, it's very nice. You use Claude. I use Claude right now. So I'm just building out some stuff right now with Claude. That's what I'm working on currently. As I'm not really trading right now per se, but that's what I'm working on. Yeah, it's very interesting. Like I think you can build so much stuff, so many tools to be useful for you as a trader or as a person, just anything in general. You build an Asia indicator. What's the platform you use that you built over it, or how do you source your data from? Is it Sierra as well, or what are you using? Alright, I'm just gonna close this trade for now. Got an hour. I'm just gonna flatten out right there. It's a nice swing, more or less, but yeah. What do you use? Claude, Codex? Use Claude. Verified journal script with bear test and Claude Opus 4. For myself, which else? You use Claude? Which ones are the cheapest at the moment? I'm not sure what the data is best at the moment too. Oh, I mean, all the data I have is from a third. I mean, some it's third party, some it's directly from Sierra, since I have historical CSV files that I can pull. I just parse it together and then make scripts based on, you know, what I look for. Massive, yeah, same thing. I have the same one. For the options data, and then the historical data I get from Sierra, since they export via CSV. And from there I use, you know, expected. I pull a bunch of as much data as I can for you, that with the options data that I have. There's a lot of reports that I don't post or share, but there's some pretty good ones. Higher time from analysis one. I can probably pull one right now. It talks about GEX positioning for the OPEX expiry. Yeah, he does. I checked it out. It's quite neat. No way. Well, whoever he is, I hope he comes back. You checked it? I haven't checked the indicator, to be honest, because I don't use TradingView. I just saw what he had put on it, so it's good. ATR range indicator. Let's check it out. He sent me a message on Substack, so I can pull it up and see. We can look at it. He's actually a subscriber to the newsletter, so let's see what we got. Oh, that closed. I'll put the link on the chat right now to share it, because in case anyone wants to check it out. Someone made this. Yeah, the link's right there. We got a sub that made this. I haven't used it, so I don't know. Let's use it on a chart. Let's see. It says here what it says is it has historical session, half devs NQ, shows expected range for the hourly in the session within a optional stop line. Percentage for breach of time stays above below stop line. It kind of gives you where to put your stop. That's cool. Fix an issue pre-market. Okay, so those are the released updates that he's had. Let's see what he got. You like it? All right, let's see. Oh, he has a standard deviation set up. I think I have to remove mine. Hold on, I have mine over here. Already layered over it. There we go. So let's see. So he has the standard deviations plotted up to 2 standard deviations. I don't know if it's this is expected ranges. New York AM are dashed. Okay, and then the other ones I'm assuming are overnight. Interesting. You have it rewritten on your broker. So does it have the Pine script that you can pull, or what? Is that how you got it? Ah, shit. I hate all these ads, bro. So annoying. Let's see, where is... So he has a Pine... Can you pull the Pine script from this, or what? How'd you get the code? I'm assuming it's here. Ah, here it is. Yeah, okay, you can. Okay. Interesting. Wow. This is read only, so you can't edit. Okay. No way. The work required 2 years. TradingView has no code. Yeah, there's a trading code available. Yeah, I saw that. So pretty interesting. I might review it and see, reverse engineer their logic and find out what I can use, if anything, from it. Because I don't have it on Sierra chart, so I might be able to just like I might be able to reverse engineer the code and add it to my Sierra chart if it's valuable. Because it is standard deviation based, I see. I don't know the full logic, but I'm sure I can figure it out. Let me actually send him a message. Hey, just streamed today. Someone else used your indicator, said it was very useful. I appreciate you sharing it. I'm going ahead and review it and see if I can reverse engineer the data and try to make it on Sierra chart as well. Appreciate you sharing it. So I'm just gonna share that with him. Isn't it weird how ATR and Fib dominates every move? Yeah, I mean, it's like Fib. I think Fibs in general, like the Fibonacci numbers are embedded in geometry or geometric, and they're embedded in human in everything in humanity. I mean, I don't know how to explain it, but like sacred geometry or Fibonacci retracements are in everything. ATR, I mean, that's a calculation used that it uses the average true range, so it's like the median range of whatever time period you're using. So if you're using a 20-day time period, it'll give you the average ATR. So that's just math. But as far as like fibs, I mean, I think that there's no coincidence, so to speak, there. Look at Fibonacci. I'm assuming this is what these are, or maybe not. I don't know what his logic is, but I'll check it out. I sent him a message, just kind of gave him a thanks. Let's see here. Known gaps, no per conversation context, every question, 60-day window. The ad I flagged earlier. I need to change this to, it was open auction? Yeah, open auction. Save. There we go. Okay. Failed to save to prep. Why? Save morning prep. Oh. Wonder why. Let me look into that. Let's see. Be right back. The global settings, the older version. Boom, 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 boom. Yeah, close along here. We're just chilling. I don't think they're gonna give me another trade today. We're about like an hour to the close, so. Okay, so still working over here. I did something bad. Oh no. Asia closed, London about 2, US is closed. Yeah, it is closed. I mean, that's probably the why we have such low volume. It's funny, a lot of the volume came in at 6 p.m. Pacific, which was, I think, the Tokyo Open. Okay, so net long and down. Yeah, everything's right. Levels. Open in auction. And then what happened here? Chopped. Okay. I do like the spot for a retrace on Monday though. Deals. It depends where we close, but yeah, like honestly, I think Monday has so many different I can see a few different variations of this trade setup. I can certainly see, let me draw it out. I can see us, because I'm going to draft the plans for today and this for the Substack in a few. I can see a place where we kind of come into these lows right here, right? Somewhere at the 40s, the midpoint. Sweep these lows, come in, hold, and then continue to trend. That's scenario 1, which I would say I would put a low emphasis on that scenario. I think that the higher probability is we come back to the 20s again. Come back to this 20 area where we gapped and ran on Sunday not the Sunday. Where we ran from here today, last night when we opened, we literally opened and shot up. So some one of those two scenarios where we come back to this area, hold, and then come back to 50s, or we sweep these lows, hold over 55, and then come to the prior month value or high. So that's scenario 1 and 2. The most bullish setup would be a gap up on Sunday futures, a gap up over the prior month value or high. Drop to VWAP, you mean you here to 40s? So I don't know. I always plan for there's three outcomes here. We can either gap up in Sunday, hold above 65s, and then revisit that 600 area. Take out these lows, the VWAP lows, a monthly, a weekly. Where's that at? I don't have it. Or come back to this like 500, 520 area, and then kind of hold, chop around and hold. That would be the two scenarios I see. So, we'll see. Monday will tell. Okay, oh, not long now. There you go. Can't scroll. I hate the scroll speed on my mouse. Yeah, I mean, I think it's gonna come down to like what do chips do? Because chips were really the weakness coming into yesterday. Are chips just gonna fly now, or are they gonna continue their weakness? Because the thing that it keeps happening is like chips are weak, and we keep as Nasdaq keeps rotating lower, but then there's a underlying bid into other names because the Dow keeps performing. The Dow keeps holding the ES up. So it's kind of similar to what happened like in March. The NQ was in a totally different distribution than the S&P. They were like in two sections. The NQ was at a value low on the month and continued to fade, while the S&P kept holding balance. Back in February, March, when we were in that large range, and because the Dow kept getting bid, so the S&P kept going to the monthly lows, getting bid over and over because of the Nasdaq's weakness, but the Dow was being supported, so it kept reverting back to balance, the monthly balance, over and over and over, until the NQ snapped, and then it dragged the S&P with it. Not sure if you guys remember that. smile. I was quite sick that time and couldn't trade. Okay, you did keep some of them entries at the bottom. I know I cashed. I flamed out already. I don't have any more positions. So I had an entry overnight at 28s, 528, and then I sold, I think, 36 a couple times. I sold another one at 48, 49, and the last one right now at 56 or 58. I don't remember where it was. Somewhere up here. So I sold all of it. I'm flat now coming into next week. I don't know if we get any more developments with the whole Iran stuff. There's so many headlines that go back and forth. At this point, I don't think the market really cares. It seems like most of the headlines haven't really affected price. It's mainly just related to the South Korea volatility we're having in the chip sector. That's really affecting the S&P. It's the South Korean volatility and the Kospi. And I think that's going to be a risk. They're going to have a lot of overnight risk, I think, is what's going to happen. Because a lot of the bigger moves that are happening within the last few weeks have been overnight. I think that because of that overnight risk on the other markets. So I'm flattened out by now, right now. So I'm probably gonna draft the plans, but essentially, I was saying earlier, and there wasn't really anyone around, but we're consistently putting in failed auctions lower. So for example, we had this range here, right? This range reclaimed. They had a failed breakdown of this cluster here. Failed breakdown, price reclaimed. We have the same structure over here. Form a balance or a range. Sorry, I mean jumping ahead a little bit. Then we had the consolidation breakout here, acceptance above the 4-day balance range after the failed breakdown. And we have the similar structure again here. Range is forming. Put in a failed breakdown of that range yesterday. Oops. Failed breakdown. Come back into the box once more. And so two things can happen from here. We either come back into this low area, hold, to then break out. That's scenario number one. Let me use a different color. We come back, hold here, go higher. Or we do the same thing we did over here with the arrows are. We just consolidate above the prior month value high, 65s. And then we do a breakout into this area here. This range from before. Right. That's essentially my assumption that I'll be drafting up today on the newsletter. is we're either going to come back, revisit that the open from last night, the 20s where we closed, hold on any dips, and then come back and reclaim and then form consolidation at the neckline. And then also, or we just form consolidation or acceptance above the prior month value high right here at the 65s, and then we break out kind of like what we did here, right there. We do something like that here. One or two will happen, right? So that's kind of the plan into next week for me. We either consolidate at the highs, the chip rally or the chip sell-off from Friday becomes null and void, or Thursday, and the chips get a bid, and that gives us the momentum to continue to break out, or we come back weaker and then we kind of form a base here at the 520s once more, and then this fake out has to hold though, right? That's the line in the sand that I have, the little LIS, that fake out has to hold. So I don't want to see price consolidate underneath that, right? This right here, you don't want to see consolidation down here, because then that phrase acceptance, we're just going to come back into the midpoint, the point of control here. That's kind of like the rough sketch for Monday's coming session, more or less. We'll say which route price wants to take, but I'm prepped already, kind of like mentally, on what to look for. I never know how this is going to play out, right? All I can do is think of different variables and how this can come into play. Come up with different scenarios on how price wants to unwind based on what I've seen, and see what structure follows. The pink one, it seems the most reasonable, to be honest, given the weakness we had on Thursday. So we'll see. Like, if there's continued weakness in the chips, then I don't disagree. I think a lot of it, unfortunately, will have to come from whatever the Nasdaq does. I think the Nasdaq can kind of give us general lean. I don't know. I think Nasdaq holding above that. I think it was like, no, actually, where is it? Yeah, it's this level right here. The 30K. It's kind of like it's a very, actually not the 30K. It's holding this area right here. I have it like a little dash line. So holding this area right here for me is like that line in the sand for a breakout. If we can hold this on the Nasdaq, like the 29,800, if we can hold this into Sunday, Monday, then I assume we go higher. So we'll see. I think just levels in general holding will tell me what's possible coming forward. I think the Nasdaq is going to be a good indicator for that, only because that's where the weakness has been. A lot of the pullback we've been having has been because of the Nasdaq. So let her know if the indicator is based on the net percentage change of each specific hour, session, day, week, month over the last 10 years. So is that way there's multiple distributions? Yeah, thanks for sharing the data. I mean, the info, it seems very good. I might, basically, it's a rubber band effect. It also plots the mean overnight low for each specific time window based of 10 years of data. You did a good job. I mean, I don't know. I'll have to look at it individually and see the code base and then kind of reverse engineer it. I'll probably do that over the weekend, but it seems very, based on the comments the other gentleman said, seems like it's well put for your levels. Different than 2 a.m. And I think that the adjustment every hour is important because you do get some random volatility that sometimes hits. Yeah, good job on that, man. I'm not sure what inspired the indicator itself, but it's pretty good. What does it help you with? I'm assuming it helps you with maybe expectations intraday on moves, or maybe setting. I think you had a note there for stop loss placement as well. If I saw one of the features there on your ads, does it help you with your stop loss placement based on that expectancy? Looks quite neat. And what did you try it on? Was it on the S&P or what asset? ES and NQ. Okay, cool. Ow. What do you use it for? And what's your use value? What's the value you derive from this indicator you made? Stop loss placement is also historically based, so the P50 line is the average high and low. Gets broken, it doesn't pass that 50% of the time before it reverses back into the range. Oh. 50p line, so it helps you with stop loss placement. Very good. See, these are things that are very useful. I'm assuming you made this with AI, right? Which one did you use? Which model? That was great framework, you know? I don't know what you reverse engineered here, like how you came to this indicator. Like what was my curiosity is like what were the prompts for this? I know it's all centered around statistics and standard deviations and expectancy, but like I'm actually curious like your frame of mind going into it. It's fascinating just how people think, you know. I never would have thought about this indicator. I think it's fantastic. Started with Claude. Nice. How'd you get the data? Where'd you get the data to backtest this? That's the other thing. That's the difficulty about trying to code things for trading is like you need access to data. I'm not sure if maybe TradingView has access to that and you just use it within TradingView, because you can use it in the browser. Let's see here what we got. Alright, I'm trying to look at the chat, but it's... I have a trading buddy who is extremely into stats and he inspired me. Oh, that's great. What's with the 90 and 75 open high close data from NinjaTrader for net percent change? Is that probability 2 and active brokers offers? So the average high to low is formed within the New York Open, within that before lunchtime, essentially, is what you're saying. I think a certain size of account or something like that. You close within one set, yeah, 68%. You do close within that. So you put a parameter in the high low to be measured within that time frame. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of different things. Provides some basically just context, prices due in relation to historical behavior. What you do with that is up to the trader. Love the fact that the zones interact and reduce size. If you use session, it should help swim with the trend nicely. Yeah, it should. Yeah, scaling and stops. Here's the thing about it, like it's like a living expectancy value zones. As price moves, so do the value zones. So then you can adjust your stop loss placement for trade management or even expectations of a move down or up every hour, right? Because it's like if it's pulling the levels every hour, it's giving you the expectancy based on that. Yeah, it's very useful because it's like a breathing. It's breathing with price, and it's being updated every hour. Like the way you set it up is honestly very good, very good. It's not static. It's very dynamic. Yeah, you use it. Okay, I'll probably look into it, but I think I like it because it's very dynamic. It's dynamic with price and whatever is happening in the moment. Because things change. Like there's days where we have like these off-the-cuff news events that in volatility expands significantly, up or down. And so then how do you the levels that I pull are static, right? They're static levels based on options markets, and the pull that I have is just a snapshot in time. A snapshot in time from that date in time when I pull those levels. So if I pull the levels in the morning for the week, that's just one snapshot. That things can change after a volatility event, and that dynamic can shift. Coming back to earlier in the week, you don't go for Hail Marys. Yeah, that's also true because you don't have enough data to know where the prices can go to. So honestly, I like the way you did there. It's amazing. I haven't back tested it, but just the framework around what you're doing, it seems to be very, very useful. This is the kind of stuff that I think like AI does day to day and so many other aspects, not just trading, that is so beneficial to us. We just have to have the right framework to be looking through and filtering information through. Like, you can make a lot of informed decisions based on data now that we didn't have, that maybe we had access to, but we couldn't parse through it. And if you create a system like the one you made that is dynamic and shifts with more data, as data changes, we make better decisions. Like something dynamic like that. So it's oh, I think there's a confusion here. It's also static, but if you have a volatile session where price pumps, you know that if price is at 2 standard deviations, okay, that makes sense. Chance it'll revert. All the values are hard coded in. So how is it? How it's hard coded in, but the values, do they update every hour on some of them, or how is it? How is it? At what point does it recalibrate? I guess I should ask. The deviations. Is there a different one for each time frame? Do the current data as well? I do the update every 3 months. Okay. Every quarter. Okay, so now assessing it. So 9 a.m. shows all the deviations for all the 9 a.m. candles over the last 10 years. 8 a.m., 8 a.m. So you know the distribution. I'm still looking for a specific hour. Hope that helps. Okay, that makes sense. It's doing an hour per hour on based on the last. But is it going off of the 8-hour candles from every single session? So 8 hours. Say to right now it's 8 o'clock. It's gonna go off of the last 8-hour one from yesterday. Day over day, every 24 hours? Or is it every 12 hours? Oh, okay, expires. Okay, so you have the option to upgrade for a more real-time feed. So that, so since you got the data from trading from NinjaTrader, can't you just use NinjaTrader's data to make your own that's live? Minor adjustment. Yeah, I'm sure you can. But I'm assuming you have NinjaTrader. That's where you got the data from initially. Can't you hard code it onto NinjaTrader since that one's updating feed the CSV file? The change in net percent, that makes sense because I mean the asset is not very volatile, so it does make sense too. The net change isn't so drastic that you need to be constantly updating it. It only moves like what, maybe 0.5% top down on an every day. Either way, dude, kudos to you for that indicator. I hope that you come up with any others and share if you're willing to. See, this stuff can be very, it's not even that it's proprietary, but it can be proprietary because it's like very specific, that information you're using, and it helps with so many things under the hood. Like you said, stop loss placement, expectancy for take profits. Those are huge for traders because most times people don't know where to target for how to maximize profit, right? They maximize profit based on feel and not stats, which is very important. Stats are over everything. And then their stop loss placement is also based on a static risk to reward ratio when it needs to be dynamic based on structure. And so having that indicator overlaid gives you a better baseline for a static stop loss placement, right? Because you're basing it off of stats already hard coded in the trade. If you look at current data, I'd assume you'd be more interested in the last 20. So like that does play a role. So like I have a scanner. I don't have my scanner right now open. I closed it already. But my scanner does an ETH compression, an overnight session compression volatility indicator or stat report. So if like volatility in the overnight session is compressed over the last 20 days, I think it's more like 30. It does an average between 20 and 15 and takes the median. And if it's compressed, then the expectancy for that session, the regular trading hour session, there's an explosive move expected. Usually 1.25 the ATR of the prior 20 range. I'm saying a lot right now, but pretty much what I'm saying is like if there's an overnight compression range, there's an expected expansion in price during regular trading hours. That's 1.25 times the range of the regular trading hours ATR over the last 20 days. And that is important because that gives you a trend-like expectancy for the session. So there's a trend that session, you can hold the trade longer when that happens. It's very rare when that happens, that compression overnight. But it's what happened here, this day, right here, watch. This day right here. This was that compression on Monday. Was it Monday? Yeah, it was Monday. This was 4. Sunday we opened and went higher. We had a compression here. It wasn't L. We haven't had one in a while, actually. The last time we were having was when we were trending. All the overnight sessions have been pretty wide lately. Okay, let's see. See, this is very nice. Good conversations, guys. This is I hope that it inspires some people who are viewing to be maybe more data driven. Like these models, these AI models can give you so much alpha in your trade management, that is most times where the real like problem is. Most times, like, most traders are pretty good at taking trades, but they're not very good at managing trades or risk management in general. I think having some layers of info like the indicator you made can help a lot. Let's see. I'm working on this journal right now. Let's see if I made a ask section. Ask journal. There we go. Opus 0.8, full access to your last 60 days of notes. Let's see. You can ask it, grade my week, which setup performed best, how much cushion do I have, read my last one. Am I over trading already? What's your first hour? Let's do that. Let's see. Oh, I need to put my API key. Let me do that. Okay. So we're gonna add a prompt, a journal, to ask data, to review the data on the journal and see what it can help me with. There's some pre-made ones, but you can create your own. Glad to hear. Curious to hear what your thoughts are next week. Yeah, 9-10 for weekend. Yeah, enjoy, man. Are you in the US too, or where are you from? We'll report to and share something of myself next week. Toxie, you either know Asia Fibo extension or you will love it. Amsterdam, that's right. That's right. Well, have a good weekend. And if you're heading out, thanks for tuning in and sharing your indicator. Start the dev server. Let's see. Neighbor German here. Plus, I already got 1 gig. I gotta make it smaller. Actually, just make this smaller. Okay, so I gotta run. The terminal here. I'm very impressed. A lot of you guys say you guys do journal trades. Wow. Very impressed by that. I guess, let's see. What trade journals do you use, or? Okay. See if it works here. Oh, there it is. Okay, so it's pulling the data. Your journal bucket by session, not clock hour. 2 editions are bleeding. Net P&L, win rate, afternoon, peak, lunch. Worst times are pretty much afternoon to later. Worst by dollar. 41%. This is your only sub, and it's your second worst trading bucket. Okay, that's a real leak, not noise. Everything else is green. So look, it's telling. So it's working very well. So it's telling me that my worst period is afternoon, peak hours. Most trades are during 11 through 10:30 on those peak hours. Everything else off, midday, early morning, close is green. So my worst sessions are pretty much during this like 1 hour, 2 hour period. Does it correlate with RTH open? Partially, the mechanism matters more than correlation. The worst part, the worst open type by far is the gap up. Okay, but that damage did not happen on your afternoon. It happened overnight on the blow up. Okay, cool. Bottom line, no single open time bad hour mapping. The afternoon and peaks are driven by you adding to losers on trending days, not by one open margin. Your biggest realized damage is time of day gap on gap up longs. That's definitely true. Yeah, okay. So it's just like it's reviewing my data and telling me like what my worst performing days. And I do my worst on gap up days when we gap above a prior day high. Those are always my worst days. Even on the live streams, you'll see like the days that I've gapped up. I try to fade the open, it never works. So, good feed there based on that question. So I can review all my stats. I'll probably mess with it some more later, but it worked very well. Very cool. That tells me like either just don't trade or trade smaller on gap up days. Right? This one works fine. Yeah. Session report. Prop desk. This one's not finished yet. I need to finish this prop desk thing. This is yesterday's trade right here. 1200, and then I lost yesterday on the you guys saw me take the 3 losses. Oh, I think I gotta fix a lot of things still though. It takes a while because it doesn't. Let's see, trade log. See, like, but the thing is, it doesn't log all the trades, does it? Oh, it does. So far, none's missing. So far, see, there's some zeros there that need to be cleared. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. All those zeros need to be cleared. I need to make sure I figure out where that leak is in the data. A lot of little bugs to fix still. But overall, it's coming together. Want me to start the server from here? I can be aware, and I'll be running it in my sandbox. Okay. So yesterday I was running a stat report on the because what I've noticed is that whenever we run over the overnight high and the overnight low during the regular trading session, the S&P has a tendency of closing back within the overnight high and low. So whenever it trades above overnight high and also below the overnight low, it's a very low probability day. It doesn't happen very often. I think it's like only 20% of the days over the last 6 years that happens where the overnight high and low get taken. But I wanted to know, like, when that does happen, does price close back within the overnight high and low, or does it close below it or above it? Most times it closes back within the overnight high and low right near VWAP. So it's not really a trade within itself, but it tells you, like, whenever we run over the overnight high and also the overnight low and we trade lower for the day, like yesterday. Actually, yesterday was a perfect example of that. And that's why I was running the report, because yesterday we traded above the overnight high. Let's see, where's the overnight high? We traded above the overnight high and below the overnight low right here. And we traded right at the overnight low. We ended up closing right there, a few points away from the VWAP. So my question to yesterday was, like, because we were trading down here, like, what are the odds of price trading back into the inside the overnight low? Sorry, the overnight low was 720. So this is the new overnight low. It was right here. It closed right a little bit above the overnight low yesterday, right here. So my question yesterday was, based on the last 6 years of data, when price trades above and below the overnight low, where does price close in relation to the overnight high and low? And what I found was that it was not that high of a probability, but it was, I think 57% of the time it closes back within the overnight low and about 10 points within VWAP. So if we're trading 40, 50 points away from VWAP, like we were here, and we're trading below the overnight low, there is a 57% chance, which is a coin toss, a little bit of a marginal, there's a marginal gain there, 7% edge, not very high, but it's there, that we can rally 50 points. To me, that's a very valuable stat, because where's the downside risk for a continuation lower? Like, where's your floor? And then how much is your upside, right? The question then becomes like, what's the risk reward with that 50%, that 7% edge? Can you make a 2, 3, 4 to 1 on that edge? And for me, it was like, I already had a plan to go along 490s. So 490s against the 70s was 20 points plus you, and then you have a favorable, let's see, do the actual math, 490 minus 720. Sorry, that's not right. Not 720. 490s minus 520s. So like you had like a 1.25, 1.5 risk to reward, depending on where your stop loss was. Edge with a 7% edge to make. And actually went higher, went to 530s. So let's see, 530 minus 490. Yeah, 40 points. So long 490 and then 530 or 520 as a take profit. And so that was a good trade yesterday into the end of the day based on that stat. All right, cool. Okay. That was kind of like a good stat play yesterday that I used for a reference. I'm off time to buy stuff for the weekend. Oh, cool. What do you got to buy, man? Yeah, I did we have 4th of July tomorrow here in the US, and I got all my groceries and stuff yesterday delivered yesterday. So I'm pretty much set for tomorrow, thankfully. Do that. Insane the fucking amount of compute you can use. Holy shit. Gotta do this one for now. Okay. Dude, I got the max plan on Claude Code. My god, is it an insane amount of compute you have access to. I've been using it for the last 3 hours. And I'm only 12% usage for the 5-hour limit. And I have like 3 different code setups or sessions I'm running simultaneously with Opus 4.8 on each one, and I have only used 12% of it. That's insane compute, dude. I mean, compared to the regular monthly model with the max, it's certainly a whole I mean, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to use all of it in the 5-hour limit. I don't think I have enough bandwidth to use all of it. And I'm over here adding a bunch of features to a bunch of stuff, running a bunch of prompts at the same time. Then they're long, complex prompts. They're not just simple ones too, so very, very interesting. Has anyone used Claude Code? Let's see. So I gotta finish this one. So let's run it. How to test the 2 user in browser. Chrome, he already has it. I'm logged in. I am. Where is it? 3200 reload. So here's the journal we're building. The AI. You can pick any model, I guess, depending on what you were looking for. Ask questions. I'm gonna see if we can add it to the morning prep as well. It's working on that right now. Okay. There's updates going on the app right now, so that's why it's refreshing. See the refresh, localhost, login. Okay. We're working also on like a squad feature. So essentially, like you guys, if what I want to do is like have a collaborative journal where everybody can see how everyone's doing. Not really like you can choose to share your P&L performance, but more importantly, like your what is it? Journey. It has like a section where it shows your discipline. Where is the review? I need to modify the UI still, but I'm just adding the features right now. It'll show exactly how many trades you've taken. And then it'll tell you, you know, it'll tilt lock you out. Gives you 5 lives. Like how many trades a day do you take on average? And you can put in that and it'll do like an animation where every time you take a trade and it closes, win or lose, or loss, it takes a heart. And so it notifies you when you're, you know, 3 hearts away or whatever it is you're doing. And then you can see your times you've locked out, how many trades you've taken that you've been locked out of, how many sessions. And then if you do well, then you have a review tab or journey. It tells you how well you're doing. Discipline streak, you know, not hitting that 5-day, that 5 lockout adds to your streak and things like that. And right now I'm building like a squad so that way people can see your stats if you want to share. So you can have accountability with a few friends. You know, celebrate green days, get pinged when someone breaks the streak, things like that. So we're going to create a squad here. Just call it Kiwi create rendering join. So I got to invite friends, so I'll generate a code. Okay, generated the code here. Copy the link. Oh, there it is. Cool. There you go. There's the little AI interface. Very cool. You get there and you have a little ask a question, use the model. Labs. Very cool. And then so now start. Grounded. No, these are my surroundings. I'm still holding 55. This is a pretty decent hold. I'm surprised. I think a lot of the strength came from the South Korea market overnight. Let me see. The Kospi, I think is what it's called. Kospi performance today. Yeah, it's up 5% today. Wow. I think a lot of the strength came today from just South Korea bouncing back. Let's see what the 5-day looks like. Yeah, it looks like we had a correction yesterday. Friday, 10 a.m. Yeah, they had some sort of a pullback yesterday. It was pretty steep, but then you have if you look at it, the overlay between today's performance overnight and what the Kospi's doing, it's identical. It's recovering the same way. So we're really correlated right now. They're in a correction right now. Okay. Like really strongly correlated. July 2, look at this sell-off on Thursday. Massive. What's that move right there? How much did it drop? Shit. From July 1st to July 2nd. Yeah, like a 700-point move. Which is like, what, more than 5%? What is that? What's the percent change from, let's see, A303 to what? To 746, 764. Yeah, this is probably where we came from, the weakness we had yesterday. I think certainly this has been going on for a while. Yeah, 7%. I mean, that's massive. 7% dip on Korea yesterday. And I think this is their ETF. Like, this is not even like an individual chart. I couldn't imagine what individual charts are doing. I had a recovery yesterday at the open. Overall uptrend, massive rally. Yeah. It's insane. 2024? Dude, this is nothing compared to it. Holy cow. They were flat for a while. This is the most parabolic run they've had. Jeez. Crazy chart. I mean, think about this. They were at, what, stuck at 2K? Tripled up in like a year? That's wild. Because they're at 8K now from 2.5. So that's some of that volatility we're getting in the markets here in the US. It's from I think from South Korea. It's been going on for a little while. Yeah, they've been having a lot of corrections. Look at 91.11 to 8200 is 1,000 points. So is that 92.11 to, it's like a 10% drop. 8203. I should have asked it what those numbers mean. Yeah, 10%. Yeah, 10% drop. Massive. June 22nd to June 23rd. When was that for us? Yeah, right here, June 22nd. It was this day. No coincidence there, huh? June 22nd. The day we sold off right here. Overnight too. This was an overnight sell-off from the 30s. There's a big correlation there. This is probably going to keep happening until that volatility dies down. What's their performance? Let's see. Let's look at another overlap. See if there's an overlap here on this gap down day. Let's see. What was the performance on, what was it, like June 625 to 626? The US had a sell-off during the ETH session of, let's just say 0.7%. Let's see what that was. There's likely a correlation there. Might have to keep the Kospi up. The Kospi had a strong reversal followed by sell-off. June 26th, here it is. The Kospi dropped significantly into the close, making a single day decline of 5.8% from the prior day. So there you go. So they had a decline there on the 26th at the close, and then coincidentally the ES sold off to 0.7 that night. So if you're not tracking that correlation right now, which, you know, I haven't until right now, within the last couple days since yesterday, I will be going forward, because this is obviously going to be important to understand what's happening with the US market. Why are we getting random dips? Like yesterday's dip was very controlled in the sense that it was like, it was contained within one sector of the market, semiconductors. It had huge implications for the S&P intraday later in the session. And that's because, again, what's going on here. So I'm going to keep that in mind coming into next week. See how they're doing. So any weakness there that's over, I'd say 5% or so, is probably going to affect the S&P. Okay. All right, squad. Let's see. Navigate to the login, no account, create one, click create, join squad. You'll land on risk. Squad, join code. Create, join. Okay. Anyone have any plans for the weekend? Actually, that's a great question. Let's do that. Oh, that's why. Oh, shoot, that's completely wrong. I went ahead and tried it on another browser. This is the error code I got. All right, let's see. No, I didn't want that. No. Okay. Let's see here. The market about to close? Yeah, you got like 8 minutes. I'm gonna say there's actually nothing you haven't scored up predicts against reality. 7555, 757535. Okay, I'm gonna make that smaller. Yeah. Hello? Good, how you doing?